Ladies and gentlemen, the show we've all been waiting for, Paranormal Buzz Radio is proud to present REP Paranormal and Friends with your hosts, Kim Purvis and Allison Robinson. Live every Thursday night on Spreaker, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. Be sure to check out their Facebook page, REP Paranormal Busters.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of Paranormal Buzz Radio or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is strictly prohibited. For information on everything Paranormal Buzz Radio has to offer, visit our website, paranormalbuzzradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Listener discretion is advised.
There we go. All right, everybody, welcome tonight to another episode of REP Paranormal and Friends. We have another special guest tonight. We have John from MOTH, so welcome.
What's up, guys?
Not a whole lot. How about yourself?
Oh, just another day, living the dream.
All right, well, let's get started. Let's get a little bit of background on you first before we dive into some investigations and things. Just give us a little bit of background, how you got involved in the paranormal.
I've actually been into the paranormal ever since I was a child. Younger age, I was about 4 or 5, and my parents own a recreational camper. One night I was sleeping out in what they classify as an attic room, so it's just a built-on room outside of the trailer. Had a fire going. It was about 11 o'clock at night. I woke up middle of the night, full-blown, full-body apparitions of Indians dancing around the fire pit.
Oh, wow. Oh.
So, yeah, I've been dealing with it ever since a young age and still just pursue the dream. And after, just growing up in locations that were haunted and being able to go out into cemeteries and see things that aren't there, go to people's and friends' houses and see things that weren't there, just kind of sticks with you.
Yeah, definitely. So how did MOTH come about?
We were with a prior team, which I won't discuss too much about the prior team.
Right.
But we had a fallout, so the original team was me, Jamie Nessett, and Derek Smith.
Uh-huh.
And 5 o'clock in the morning, we just said, screw it, we're starting a new team. Name came around, and it actually hit Derek. Derek was the one that came up with the name. He's our on a hiatus leave for quite a long time team member, so he permanently has a slot on the team.
Uh-huh.
He just hasn't came back, and he came up with the name, and we've been running ever since.
Awesome. Definitely. So, was it last weekend or the weekend before? Weekend before is when we went to Malvern with you guys. That was I would say it was a pretty awesome time.
Definitely. Crazy.
Yeah. So, we did have some interesting things happen at Malvern, and we kind of had some of the same visions. Do you want to elaborate on some of the things that you had happen at Malvern?
Most of the time running into a new location like it is without knowing the history, but not ever actually stepping foot into the place, it's a total new experience. I mean, you have to get your bearings. You have to get to actually be comfortable in a location, and I'm one that I like to wander, so walking around Malvern and just picking up on everybody that's still there was a blast. Jamie and I had plenty of experiences in Captain's room, who is, excuse my French, but he's a dick.
Yeah.
Yes. I was there when he cussed at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, him trying to strangle me out and then him trying to kill Jamie at about 3 o'clock in the morning was great.
Yeah. I didn't have any issues with him, so
He didn't like us, you know. But that's the
you guys
way
were changing his channels.
It's the way Moth rolls. You know, we go in, we fuck shit up, and we kind of cause some anarchy here and there.
All I know is fuck you came off that box plain as day,
Yeah.
and it's like, I think I'm leaving. He wasn't happy.
Oh, they're never happy with us. But I think they also know with the history, or they pick up on what, you know, we do in the paranormal field and how we help people, that they get scared.
Right.
But yeah, just the experiences even up in the attic with you, Allison, seeing the full body apparitions and stuff moving around the room, but they wouldn't ever actually walk in front of cameras.
No.
No.
And I gotta say, I think one of the highlights of the night was Kim trying to scare everybody in Payback.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, my heart's still not beating real good on that one.
If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's one of our live feeds on Twitter. I'm sitting there, we're doing an investigation down on the hallway, and John gets Kim pretty damn good. So you'll have to check it out if you haven't already. Plus there's a video of the guy snoring too, which right now has the most viewers, so.
And people like men snoring, you know.
I guess. It's probably a fetish.
But yeah, even just the experience with you in the bathroom
Oh, yeah.
was just nuts.
Yeah. And the thing is that I went through my recorder, and I know I had my recorder with me both times we went in there, but the only session that's on my recorder is the second time we were in there.
And that was the one with Jamie.
Yeah. The other one's not there.
Weird.
Yeah. And I had that happen on my other recorder that I left in Inez's room next to the camera. It said it was rolling, but I go in there and there's nothing. My battery's full, everything, but there is no recording.
They turned it off. They said, nope, not today.
Not today. Not today. Probably, I wouldn't doubt it. But, yeah, I would say the bathroom was pretty interesting.
Yeah, why don't you explain that? I did there.
Yeah, Kim wasn't in there, so basically I sat in the bathtub, and this was the first time around, yes, I could feel the woman, but the second time was more intense to where I could feel her struggling, and like my face started to twitch, and then my head just started to shake uncontrollably. Like I couldn't, stop it from shaking so bad. And then my legs were like freezing cold. And we were getting a lot of things over the box too about murder, kill, and kept talking about a Beth and an Amy and a Steve. Now I did catch on my recorder, which we were going to listen to some of those tonight, but I couldn't get them onto the computer. I did catch a woman saying Stephen after we had I can't remember what question we asked, but then the lady asked about Stephen, which that name came about so many times. So I don't know if that's the guy that was in there. Did you get the feeling of who that guy was?
I haven't caught a name yet, but I still haven't really fully pried. But I still see the short black hair, the mustache, the motions that he did, the blue clothing, like, the nurse scrubs.
Yeah.
And I still get those mental quick flashes of him literally strangling the woman in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Which is a normal occurrence after a location like that has had, the multitudes of death and the misery and the sorrow that's been in the location.
Right.
things have a tendency to stick with me for a while till I actually start figuring out who they were, what they were, how things happened, why they happened.
Exactly. So, like, what do you call, do you call yourself like an empath or a medium or anything, or?
I don't really have a name.
Yeah, that's kind of
I'm one that just lets things come and overtake. So that's why during the night you saw me take off both of my necklaces. I set them down. I handed Jamie my book and said, I'm just going to go walk.
Right.
And that's the times that I start picking up on the other things and start seeing the mental images and all the feelings, the emotions, all that.
Right.
So it's really not a medium. You're really not an empath. You're just kind of an all-around channeler.
Mm-hmm.
You could almost call it.
Yeah.
So that was interesting to see, though. Like, but when we were in the bathroom, I had everything still on, and he still came through and was showing me the mental images.
Uh-huh.
So I think he was trying to show his dominance.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know yet. I haven't actually connected with him on a higher plane yet to figure out what he wanted.
Yeah. You know, I find that interesting how you said that once you took off all your protection, how you could feel more things. Well, I noticed I haven't worn mine the last 3 or 4 times either. And I think that's why I'm starting to pick up on all this stuff. Like, I'm getting the names and the voices and the images like I wasn't getting before. I even get it when I go to freaking Walmart. I get shit. It's terrible. You can't walk into Walmart without, feeling somebody's emotions.
The empath.
I get high anxiety.
That's why I don't like dealing with people.
Mm.
I don't like touching people. I don't like shaking hands because you see the weird things that they try keeping secret.
Yeah. Yep. Right. Exactly. Now, let's see here. In the hallway, do you think that woman was one of the gals that had been in the bathtub, or was that somebody completely different? You were seeing somebody that looked like maybe a nurse or something.
I think that was somebody different. I think that was just one of the nurses that was in the area.
Okay.
And she still hasn't came through yet. Mm-hmm. I don't think she will until, we eventually make a trip back.
Yeah.
I could actually connect with her more on that one-to-one basis.
Right.
But, I could see blondish gray hair. I could see the nurse cap. I could see the white. It wasn't like your standard typical RN nurse. It was more doctor nurse. Like you're in the operating room kind of nurse.
Uh-huh.
Peeking out, looking down the hallway and making sure the patients were okay. Almost like a med doctor.
Okay, gotcha.
And all she would do is she would walk back and forth across that hallway. She wouldn't come close. She always wanted to stay that further distance back away from us when we were there.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm not sure if that was the gal that I connected with the last time that Kim and I went. Because when we went down in that hallway, it was actually me and this gal, Christy. I actually had a woman say, don't go any farther. Like, she didn't want me to go any farther down that specific area of the hallway. But I never really got a good, clear vision of her. So I'm not sure if it was ever her or not, but maybe sometime I'll figure it out. I don't know.
See, a lot of the times you just got to connect with them. You got to figure out why they're there.
Yeah, well, this is the interesting part. I don't know if I talked to you about this. Maybe I was talking to Kim about it. But her and I, when we were down in the hallway, and we were doing that spiritus, and we were talking different things, and, when I had gotten there, I was outside, and of course, Rosie came and paid me a visit, and then Jack popped into my head. And I kept having Jack all night, which we were asking questions about him, and it said, I asked if he was a resident there, and he said no. And I said, well, where did you come from? He said, with you. Or I said, how did you get here? And he said, with you. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be hard to figure out on.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Because, Josh had said they picked up on a Jack the night before, which they don't really get that name a whole lot, but I don't know. I was kind of mind-boggled. I've been trying to figure that one out myself, but I still haven't quite figured out who he is or what he wanted from me.
See, throughout the night, we kept getting Beth all night.
Yeah.
And Jamie and I were actually sitting in the captain's room, which we found out his name, they believe, was James.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whenever we would ask a question, he'd come through as Jim all night. It'd be Jim, 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 Jim. Well, then we started to pry a little bit. We wanted to figure out what happened with Beth because he kept getting so grumpy when we'd ask a question about Beth. And I think at one point, I point blank asked, did you murder Beth? And that room just shifted.
Yeah.
It became a negative area. And that's why I don't think he liked us so much. That's why he tried killing Jamie and I both. But what I find weird is Jamie said right before he laid down, he goes, I want to be up before the witching hour.
Yes, I remember that.
And 3 minutes before the witching hour, he had all that stomach acid come up. And I'm like, you realize what time it is, right? And he goes, no, what time? I'm like, it's 3 minutes before the witching hour. And he's like, oh, shit. He goes, yeah, I guess he did want to talk to us.
We do have a question from Darren. He wants to know what has been the scariest location you've been on?
We actually had a private residence case, and it was just Jamie and I. This place was demonic.
Mm-hmm.
It was point blank demonic. We were getting audible growls. We were getting you could hear things fully running up on you. They would stop. They would stand directly in front of you. You could see pure shadows in darkness still moving.
Oh,
it got so bad to the point that I eventually looked at Jamie and said, we need to go step outside, smoke a cigarette, calm down. Let's go back in and attack this.
Yeah.
And there's a funny story behind it is I actually called Derek after we were getting the audible growls and all that stuff. He drove down, and the household owner was getting pushed. We were getting pushed. We were getting shoved. You couldn't breathe. Then we flipped the lights on for just a little bit of a breather. I decided to go hit the bathroom. As I was walking out of the bathroom, the entity followed me in the bathroom, broke her shower door by pushing it off of its hinges. I ran out. Jamie's looking at me like, what the fuck was that? And I'm like, the damn thing followed me in the bathroom. It's pissed. It took us 3 times of going in and blessing the house to finally remove the negative entities that were located in the household. And weird story is, it was all connected to a chair.
Wow. That's insane.
No kidding.
That would be crazy.
We went down the third and final time to do the blessing. It was probably about 4 PM. Calm day. We get through the blessing. We asked the lady that we were doing it for if we could actually remove the chair out because we were getting really bad feelings around it. You can go sit in it and it'd be a flip of a switch. You'd be pissed off. You'd be angry. You'd want to throw shit. You'd want to break shit. You'd want to hurt somebody. Well, we got the chair out of her basement, which it felt like there was like a 600-pound man sitting on the chair, and it was just an old, like you'd see in like a 70s household with a flowery print on the back, and
Yeah.
so less than 5 pounds of a chair. We got it outside. We started walking it down her street because there was a church right around it, so we thought we'd go set it on the church.
Mm-hmm.
And as quick as we actually turned the block, there were 60, 70 mile per hour winds. That was just right in that area. No other trees moving, nothing.
Oh, that's freaking nuts.
So yeah, that was one of our more extreme cases that we've been on. I mean, with Ministers of the Haunted, we have a tendency of taking on the darker cases.
Right, yeah. Sorry. I keep about yanking Kim's earbuds out of her ear. I keep moving around. All right, so let's go back a little bit to Malvern. Now, we were going to do that.
Gansfeld?
Yeah, I was so pumped about it, and then you guys went to bed. I was so pumped because I was like, I had to just like take a little bit of a break because that really messed me up, that woman. But like, I was so pumped, and I'm like, damn it, they're snoring.
So
well,
we
the
went
next
off
time we're
steroids.
together, we'll do it.
Okay. I've been thinking about that because I'm like, oh man, I was told my mom about it. I'm like, I need to try that. She's like, oh yeah. She's like, doing that. She's like, yeah, that's just gonna open you up, and you're gonna see everything, and blah 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 blah. And
I'm going to tell you now, do some research into it.
what's it? Okay, what's it called again?
It is called Gansfeld. It is Ganzefeld, if I'm right.
Okay.
It's something that they do use in the paranormal, but a lot of it was back in the day.
Uh-huh.
They used to use it for medical treatments.
Oh, okay. Very nice. My foot's asleep. I got a foot cramp.
So
I was going to ask you, how's Dustin since Melbourne?
He's doing good.
Well, I didn't know because when we were in Gracie's room, he was getting groped by
Oh,
her.
yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's our Aaron of the group.
Yeah, I guess so.
Here, this is the most haunted, most messed up place. You're going to go sit in there for a couple hours by yourself.
Nice. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, like, when we went into, I don't call it Gracie's room, I call it the pee room. But
I call it the dirty, rotten crotch room.
Yeah, that's what it smelled
But
like.
the thing is okay, when you told me to go down there, you're like, just go into that room. I didn't smell that at first, like I did when I first went there. But when I went in there, it was like really black, really dark, and there was somebody sitting in that wheelchair, and they were trying to rush me. Like, I don't think they were trying to scare me, I think they just wanted out. And then there's always a woman on the bed. So when I went and said that to you, I'm like, oh, gee, thanks for that. Well, I took Kim and Dustin down with me, and it was dark, really, really dark. And that person was still in the wheelchair, and then that's when I got the heavy, rotten, whatever you want to call it, smell.
Because Jen B's the one that told us there was somebody sitting in that wheelchair at first.
Yeah, and there was,
When
definitely.
we did our live walkthrough, she said, go back to that room. There was somebody tied to that wheelchair.
Yeah, it shook me up. But, like, they just wanted out of there bad. And then once they left, the room lightened and the smell went away.
Yeah, totally.
But, yeah, the woman in the bed was still trying to grope Dustin. I think he was just getting a thrill out of it, honestly.
Being touched by the invisible.
Hey, that's kind of like what Zach Baggins likes.
Douche Baggins.
Darren had a question.
Oh, we got another question here. Let's see. Would any of you sleep in one of the rooms in Malvern by yourself?
Oh, I would in a heartbeat.
Oh, I probably would too, but I'd probably freak out.
Well, me and you slept in what they call the auditorium part
or something.
Yeah, and you got bothered.
Yeah.
And then we slept in where the guys were sleeping, and I got bothered there.
Yeah,
when we were sleeping in there the last time. But yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't bother me to sleep in one of the rooms by myself.
No, because like, you can see me react on the camera to when my foot gets touched and like it kind of pulls my blanket a little bit in that room. But I mean, I went right back to bed, and I think Jamie said he heard a lot of.
There's scuffling moving around.
Yeah. I kept waiting for one of you guys to come in and try to get payback for taping you, but
I hit the pillow. No. I was out.
No, payback was seeing Kim jump up off that floor. You reacted first, Allison, and I'm just like, shh, stay quiet.
I know, so I'm like, I turned the other way, and I'm like, is anybody down there?
I told her she should have kept the camera on you, but acted like she was talking down the hallway, and I wouldn't have paid attention.
Yeah, I didn't think about it at the time. Because that would have been great. That would have been epic.
See, all night she kept trying to scare us, and it didn't work, and it just takes me going sneaky ninja.
I know, you did. Like, I didn't hear you come up on her at all. I just happened to look up, and I saw you there, and I was going to say something. You're like, shh. Yeah, because she tried to scare me, too, in one of the rooms.
I was in Hank's room, and you guys were coming out of the attic.
Yeah, and I just walked on by.
I went down, got right behind her, grabbed her legs, and she shot up off that floor.
I know.
It's a wonder there ain't a hole in that roof.
I thought about grabbing her legs and just start dragging her down the hallway, but she might have started kicking.
That would have been funny.
I think I probably would have had a heart attack.
Probably. But I would have probably peed myself. Because I would have been laughing way too hard.
And that's just
when we were in that hallway, you were looking at the other end. You said you saw a lady in white, but you couldn't tell if it was a nurse or a patient, right?
She's more prevalent as being not a nurse, she's more like a med nurse.
Okay.
So one that would have been doing med checks and handing out pills and stuff like that, checking the hallways.
Because we went through the video and we caught nothing on that doorway at all. And
that's just it. Like I said, I see things that you sometimes won't capture.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And it's just the way that I tune my body into what I feel.
Right.
And what I see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, when we were in the attic, I was seeing the full body apparition moving around Allison, but nothing was on video.
Yeah.
It would always stay behind the chimney and go near the beer cans, but it wasn't like a prevalent spirit. It was just there. It would move back and forth. And even Jamie could feel it when he came upstairs with us. Yeah. He was picking up on the entity that was upstairs.
Well, let's see here, because I do have a time marked on our camera from upstairs that says to check the attic by the cans.
Which we haven't got to that part yet.
Yeah, so once we get through it, we'll have to see if it's anything and let you know. But I do have it marked on here, so I must have seen something when I was watching the live feed or something.
Good, because hopefully we captured something up there, because, I mean, it was active up there, but they weren't, it was just the one. It wasn't like it was a consecutive, group of them up there.
Right, right, yeah. And, it was, we would ask questions about beer, and it would talk about beer on the box. So, I mean, but when Kim and I went up there, we really didn't get a whole lot.
The millimeter kept jumping up.
Yeah.
But then it'd go right back down real fast.
Yeah.
But nothing else went off. We couldn't get nothing with the SLS or nothing.
Okay. Got another question from Darren. What location... Okay, what's a location you would never want to go back to and why?
I have yet to step foot into a place that I would not return.
Same here. I haven't been to one yet that I wouldn't return to yet.
I haven't
Because
either.
there's always unanswered questions,
Yeah.
which is why we do this in the field. Is you search for those answers, and once you hit those answers,
Mm-hmm.
you have more questions.
Right.
And that's why we do this. We're not really out there to, become big and famous and go, oh my God, look at me, I'm douchebaggins.
Yeah.
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 I'm
No,
not
we
in
do
it
it
for fame.
We do it for this, like, our team does it for the simple fact of helping people.
Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, when we can go into a location and, help the family out by doing a sage or doing a cleansing, sending up protection, sending me channeling the things into crystals and removing them from locations,
Mm-hmm.
that helps and gives that family comfort.
Right. Exactly.
That's just like people want us to come in, but we're not that experienced. But where we've got you guys and another group that's got our back, so if we need any answers, we go to you guys, and then we'll bring you in for better things to help the people out, because I don't want to leave anybody where we can't help them.
Right. Yeah, exactly. No, I would never do that.
We're only a phone call away.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's what
anytime you need
Jamie
us.
said too.
Absolutely.
We're actually, Jamie and I are going to attempt to try something new during possibly, if we get something lined up, where I'm going to go in blindfolded.
Oh, awesome.
I'm going to know no history of the house, no nothing. They're going to know everything, and I'm just going to walk and see what I feel.
Yeah. That's a pretty
And-
good idea.
Because having that ability to tap into that other side,
Mm-hmm.
you never know what's going to come through.
Yeah, you don't. That's just it.
I think that'd be a good one for Allison, because she knew nothing about Rosie till the next day, and
Yeah.
she was, focused in on her and stuff, and
Kind of like Robert at
yeah,
Velisca.
Robert at Velisco.
I kept channeling him all night long, and finally, when we're like, let's go pay our respects to the Moore family, I was looking at the thing, and lo and behold, Robert was a cousin, same age as the kids that were.
And he's buried right the next slot over from him.
Yeah. So it was kind of crazy.
See, we've yet to go do Velisca. We've talked about it, but we just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. We have it'll be our third time?
Oh, yeah, it'll be our third time there
Yeah.
at the end of the month.
Yeah. At the end of the month, we're going. So, see if I can talk to good old Robert.
Let's see if we can get our cameras to work. Last time they wouldn't let us have our cameras.
Yeah, last time we were trying to hook up the cameras. We tried the new ones, they wouldn't work. We tried the old ones, they wouldn't work. So we went inside, we did a session with the spirit box, and we were asking about the cameras, and they said, no cameras.
And they wouldn't work.
So we respected it, and we didn't use any cameras that whole night. So, you never know what you're going to get there. And the first time we went, I did smell the sulfur. When we were getting ready for bed, my cousin and I smelt it. We've had somebody else smell it too when they went, so.
Ah, good old sulfur smells.
Yeah.
Let's see, last time we went, we were sleeping,
Oh.
and it smelled like marijuana.
Oh, yeah, it did. Yeah.
In one corner.
Yeah, it did. It did.
But it didn't last very long. It
was there and gone.
They'd be like, "Come on, guys, pass it around. Don't be hoarding it."
That's what I was thinking.
Excuse me.
There's
Yep. I'm looking. Darren had a question. He's like, "Isn't that what they do on dead files, except for he moves the personal items?" Well, I mean, she goes in there, but she's not really blindfolded on dead files.
But he
no.
removes all the.
But he does take all the personal items out there, so she can't see let that have any effect on what she's saying.
See, she goes in still being able to physically see. Like, Jamie is actually going to lead me in.
Right.
He's going to be the one guiding me throughout the entire location, so I'm going to have no visual sense at all.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And see, I might even go in with just white noise generated in my ears, so I don't hear anything, I don't see anything. And just see what I pick up on. Like, she can go in and she just picks everything up.
Right.
I'm going in completely blindsided, know nothing.
Right, exactly.
And then after I get my final full walkthrough in is when they will start filling me in on the history of everything in the household.
Yeah.
Or in the location that we're at.
Right. Yeah. No, I can't wait to hear about that. So
Yeah, I really want to hear about that.
Just don't let them lead you into like a door or a wall or something.
Oh, it's going to be Jamie. He'll probably run me into a couple things.
I had that happen in dental assisting school, and I ended up having to get my septum fixed because it got crooked. It was terrible. So I'm like, I'm not letting anybody do that. Well, maybe Kim, if she doesn't lead me into anything. But.
I wouldn't. No, you're my driver. I gotta have you.
Yeah, that's true.
Your
picking
truck's
up
only
on
big enough to hold all the equipment.
I know. And even then, it's getting kind of small.
Well, where's Larry,
Yeah, we left Larry in Malvern.
But even going upstairs and seeing the blood splatter down the walls and picking up on the guy that did that was odd.
I remember you saying...
Go for it, Kim.
Go ahead.
And just, seeing the physical harm that he caused to himself. I never got a face, never got a name, but I could see the wound mark down his arm and just him walking. And yeah, that's the shit I deal with.
Well, we have another question from Darren. He's getting good on these questions.
I know, right? Oh, he wants to know what your bucket list is for the investigation.
My bucket list would actually probably be Eastern State Penitentiary.
Ooh,
oh, yeah, that would be a good one.
I would like to go that.
I would like to go do Eastern State, or I'd like to go do the Joliet Prison in Illinois.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one, I don't think.
They just opened it up. Last year they shut it down. And there's only been a few teams that have actually been able to go in and actually investigate it. But I grew up for a couple of years in Joliet, so I knew the prison. The inmates were still there when I was living there. And then they shut it down, and it's dilapidated, but it's a prison.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be a bucket list, or I think they are opening up the Iowa prison that they shut down.
Uh-huh.
They were talking about it.
Place.
They were talking about it at one time, but I haven't heard any more. That would be nice. I'd love to go through that one, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, me too. Darren has another question. He wants to know, what are your feelings about Amityville?
It's a hit and miss. Until I would actually visit the location and see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right now you just know what the history of, like, prior to the movies, and then, you know, the Hollywood version of everything. To me, I'm really not going to speak on the situation because I've never been. I'd love to go see it and actually see, you know, what I could pick up on to see if there is some sort of truth behind the story. It's kind of like Spagon's Demon House.
Right.
You know, he was the only one to be able to go and investigate it and da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, how do we know it was actually haunted?
Right.
True.
If you never open it up to let somebody else go in and do it, you can't just go, oh my god, this place is so haunted, I got to demolish it now. Well, guess what, dude? You just released everything out into the open.
You're right. Exactly. That was kind of my thoughts, too.
You didn't contain anything. You just said, hey, I'm going to destroy your sanctuary.
Yeah.
Great. Hope. I feel sorry for the person who buys that property next.
Yeah, no kidding.
Somebody wants to build on it or something. You never know.
But Darren said that would be a great blind technique place to test.
It would. That would definitely be a spot to go in, just completely sensory deprived. But see, I'm also the one to challenge everything.
That's true. Excuse me, I got such a tickle in my throat with this humidity.
I know, we had to turn off the air.
I know, we had to turn off the air, so we're dying over here.
Well, they wouldn't hear us if I didn't.
That is true, that is true. So what do you guys got lined up? Do you have anything lined up?
September 28th, we've got a study hall at Farrar.
Oh, okay.
I believe we have a possible case coming up. Can't really divulge too much information.
Right.
And
Right.
I think we have a trip in July to Minneapolis, St. Paul area.
Oh, nice.
So
That's one thing I'd like to do is travel out of state. We haven't done that yet.
That's next year.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping to do next year.
We're hoping to try to raise the money to go to the Sally House.
Yeah.
that'd be fun. Another free location to go check out if you want to travel semi-close, but still a decent little ways away, is go out to Starved Rock, Illinois.
Where was that?
Starved Rock.
Oh, okay.
Back in the 70s, there was a murder that happened out there. 3 women bodies were found in one of the caves.
Uh-huh.
And there is a lot of Native American entities out there.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it's one of those you'd have to go during the day, possibly get a campsite
Uh-huh.
to go explore out at night. So, but that's a pretty interesting location. And I
Okay.
grew up going there on family trips.
Oh, okay.
So, it's fun.
Definitely. That one sounds fun.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see.
It's probably 6 hours from where I'm at, and well, I'm 45 minutes from the Minnesota border, so
Right.
Jeez.
There's some places up in Minnesota, but I can't remember the names of them that are supposed to be decent to go to.
Yeah.
There's a group, Johnson something, that I follow that do a lot of investigations up there.
there's the one hotel in St. Paul that's active.
Uh-huh.
There's a couple of the old cave systems where they hold like parties and raves and do techno and stuff in there.
Oh,
That
jeez.
there was mafia hits that
Oh,
happened
wow.
in there.
Holy shit. That would be interesting. No. Yeah, no. I do. I want to be able to get out and go to some different places. I'd like to go to Ashmore Estates too. At some
That'd
point.
be fun.
Yeah.
That's only, I think, a 5-hour drive from us.
Yeah, it's about a 5-hour drive. But there
Guys,
you can camp too.
You guys need to get up here and check out the Buddy Holly Memorial.
Oh yeah, we haven't done that. No.
That place is interesting.
Is it?
Went out there one night and captured old music playing on my digital voice recorder. And mind you, it's in the middle of a cornfield. So, that's a fun little location.
Oh, okay. Darren has another question here.
I think that's to Shay, maybe.
Is it? I don't know.
Oh, maybe not. Because he's talking about Gettysburg. She's going to
Yeah,
Gettysburg.
I know she's going to Gettysburg, but
Go ahead.
do you think if you go to Gettysburg, would you have a hard time with touching stuff with so many deaths?
That'd actually probably be my playground. I'd
Okay. Gotcha.
just feeling the history. Like, with a location like that, it's all about connecting. Where most of the time I don't try touching things because, you do pick up on the energy.
Uh-huh.
That's why, like, even during our private investigations, I'll shake the client's hand and that's it. That's as much as I want to know.
Right.
Yeah.
And with Gettysburg, that would be probably one of those locations that even just walking through the fields, you'd see things and you'd feel things and you'd pick up on things. You wouldn't even need to touch anything that was there, just walking. You'd be able to feel it.
Yeah, because all that energy in the ground from all those deaths.
Yeah.
That is true.
That is true. Checking to see if there's any more questions here before we... Man, Darren's been on the roll tonight with
Yes,
questions,
he
so
is.
thank you, Darren.
He's coming up with some good ones,
Yeah,
too.
he is, definitely.
Now, we've got 3 investigations this month. We're going to be busy.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we got invited to do Granger House in Edinburgh.
2 Friday night and a Saturday. And then the next week, we go to the Villisca
Yeah.
Axe Murder House.
Yeah.
So we're busy. we got to do it again with you guys. We had a blast.
Yeah, that was fun.
I know. We need to get something going.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I wish you guys would have got a video of when Dustin walked out and seen his vehicle.
I know.
That was so freaking hilarious. I wish I would have got a picture. I didn't even get a picture.
They got a
There
picture
is
of
a
it.
picture.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, I'm not on Facebook right now. So I don't get to see a lot.
I'll send it to you through Messenger.
Okay. But that was pretty damn funny. That was great.
Darren's got another good question. If you had an endless bank account, what haunted location would you buy and why?
I don't think I'd buy. I'd just go visit places.
That's true, because then you could go anywhere you wanted.
I'd actually travel overseas and go hit some of the more haunted locations over there, like the Ram Horns Inn,
Oh yeah.
and hit the locations that have that negative energy.
Mhm.
Because it's not, I don't really want to say it, but it's kind of what I feed on.
Mhm.
It's what gives me that jolt, that spark, that, okay, I know you're here.
Right?
How can I help you?
Yeah, exactly. That's an interesting thought. Never would have thought of it that way. Yeah.
I mean, even like going and seeing Pompeii would be awesome. going over to like Chernobyl,
Uh-huh.
you know, the locations where there was massive deaths.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we'd go there and probably just help them move on.
Yeah, true. Darren wants to know if you'd go to any of the castles.
That would be interesting if there was a known, like, deaths.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the castles were family owned. So there's going to be deaths, but I'd go to the ones that were more war ridden, the ones that were attacked, that were sieged.
Oh, uh-huh.
I mean, the places that you know there was some sort of battle that has happened.
Mm-hmm.
My number one place to go would actually probably be Vlad's Castle over in Transylvania,
Yep.
Romania. Or the, what is it, the Hyobachu Forest that's over there?
I
where
think so.
there's like nothing that grows within the circle.
Oh, yeah.
Or the Japanese suicide forest.
Heard about
That'd be
that.
another interesting
Oh,
location.
yeah, I did hear about that one, too. Yeah.
I don't think I would want to buy a place either. I just would love just to travel
Oh,
and
hell
go
yeah.
to all of them that I've heard about
Yes.
and find new places. And,
Uh-huh. I'd like to go to the Hinsdale house. I would like to go to Hinsdale.
yeah, love to get that way.
That
Love to get to the Hinsdale house.
would be fun. But yeah, I'd have to save my pennies to travel. Oh, there was something else I was going to say. No, I can't remember. I'm having a brain fart. I hate that. Popped into my head. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to ask it, and then I totally forgot. Ow! Just
She just hit her elbow.
hit my funny bone.
um, that's the suicide forest, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's what we're.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Shay was just asking a quick question. She wasn't sure if we were talking about the suicide forest or what. Gosh dang it, there was somewhere I was going to ask about. Now I can't freaking remember where it was at.
I would buy the Amityville house and open it up as a paranormal research facility. That's what Darren would do.
That'd be interesting, but there'd have to be some sort of like actual proof.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, you could buy a house and go, oh my god, this is haunted by 100 ghosts, I'm going to open it up for this, but there's absolutely nothing there.
Yeah.
Which, there's been locations like that, you know, people have claimed, oh my god, this is so haunted, and there's jack shit there.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, Shay just said there's been no activity in it over 20 years.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Moth could stir some shit up.
Oh, I'm pretty sure
you guys can stir up anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere they could, anywhere. Excuse me.
Yeah, because I've been in the captain's room so many times, and they go in, they can get him all stirred up.
I know. Exactly.
I got nothing in that room twice. I've been in there.
No, yeah, no. The main
Just think-
room. Go ahead.
Go for it, Elsa.
You can go for it.
Just think, that was our first time ever going to Malvern.
I know. Yeah.
And we captured amazing responses.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And I think I opened your mind up a little bit, too, when we were there.
Oh, yeah. I think so. Well, the first time I went there, all they wanted to do was hang me.
Yeah.
They kept saying my name and they wanted to hang me. We've gotten past that part, but yeah, I'm seeing more and more. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when I roll back through. Well, Edinburgh, I've had several. encounters there, and then of course Villisca with Robert. So it'll be interesting to see what I pick up at the Granger house too. I don't know a ton about it. I mean, just a little tiny bit of what people have said, but not a whole lot. So it'll be interesting to see what I get.
Edinburgh would be fun, but it's not one of my top places to go to.
Yeah. It's actually pretty good. I've had experience in another, believe it or not, bathtub.
Yeah, she don't like those bathtubs.
Nope, there was a woman in there, and my cousin's seen it too. We were on the walk there, and we were like, "Did you just see what I just saw?" And she's like, "I bet it did." And we started saying exactly what we saw. We saw the same thing. We were explaining it at the exact same time to each other. It was nuts. We also saw the woman in the door too, which freaked us out. I was trying to open the door, and all of a sudden it pulled back like this, and a face flashed in the window. I never seen my cousin scared, and she was like, "Holy shit, let's go!"
See, I'd go sit down where the padded room was.
Yeah.
Down in the basement.
We tried that for a little bit one time. I think we put a camera in there, maybe.
Put a camera in there.
See,
Never had anything.
I own a black straitjacket, so I would actually go in tied up like they would be.
Oh, yeah. That would be interesting. I'd like to see that.
Jim Beck actually borrowed my straitjacket for one of his trips down there, and he said he got some interesting results from sitting in that room in the jacket.
Oh, wow. That would be cool, yeah.
Darren says the Stanley Hotel would be an awesome place.
I want to go there. I do want to see it. I mean, I don't really know if there's anything that's going on there, but it's still a really cool place. I'd still like to see it. I really would.
I think it'd be just one of those bucket lists of, hey, I've stayed in a hotel room in the Stanley.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I have a buddy down in Arizona that said 15 minutes out his back door on a quad, you're in the petrified forest with Native Americans.
Oh, wow.
And he goes, the place is just so active. He goes, you come down here, it's open for you.
That's awesome.
So that's one of those locations that will eventually be done before I die.
That's what I look at. I got a lot of places that I want to go, but not enough money to do it right now.
I know, same here. Excuse me. My throat just keeps...
Yeah.
Hey, at least you're not gagging on water.
That's true. That's true. My head's not going like this. They can't really see it, but shaking out of control.
It was definitely interesting when we went in there the first round without Jamie and just picking up on the things that were in there.
Oh, yeah, I know. It was. I cannot figure out why I know I had my recorder because I set it in the tub with me like I did the second time.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't find it. I went through the whole recorder. Can't find it. I can only find the second time. I can't find the hallway either. Just the attic. And maybe it was the hallway. There was only a couple places that
No, you didn't have it on the hallway.
Gracie's room.
Gracie's room.
Yeah. That's all I can find. And I know I had it.
Yeah, you had it with you in the hallway, but there's nothing on it.
Yeah, there's nothing on there.
See, we actually had the privilege of doing a location that is a public library, and that place was actually really, really cool. A lot of weird stuff there. So that's going to be one of our trips probably coming back up again, is going down there. And
oh, that sounds cool.
All right, well, it is that time to kind of wrap things up here. Anyone have any last questions? Darren, do you have any last questions?
Gotta give him a few seconds.
Yep.
No, next week we're gonna try to get those EVPs on the computer, and we're gonna talk about them and stuff about Malvern too.
Yeah. Next
Yeah,
week.
I've still got to do the research on my post-mortem photos.
Yep,
That's right.
I remember those photos.
Huh?
I remember those photos.
That's right. Yep, I do. Okay, well, let's see here. I'm going to go through and do our quick shout outs to everybody who was in chat tonight. We had Darren, Shay, myself, Kim, Matt. I'm making sure I didn't miss anybody. I think I got everybody, unless somebody's speaking.
I'm pretty sure you got everybody. And we always have listeners that don't come into chat too.
Oh, yeah,
so.
we have. And thanks for everybody who's not in chat that's listening. I'm waving at my phone like they can see me through chat. I haven't even had my happy juice yet tonight, so. Oh. Late night last night. Had softball. All right. Well, thank you, John, for being on.
Thank you, ladies.
Yes. Just hang on one second here. I'm just going to get this wrapped up. Thank you, everybody, and have a good night, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yep, next week.
All right.
Thank you for listening to REP Paranormal and Friends. Be sure to check out Kim and Allison on Facebook at REP Paranormal Busters.